3, 2, 1. So, you want to start a fund, but you have no money. How are you going to start a fund if you have no money? Well, the beauty of a hedge fund is that you can have these things called shorts. I'm going to set up a model here, and I'm going to give us some shorts. And shorts are things that we're going to borrow. So we're going to go and borrow 100 million. And we're not going to borrow money. We're going to borrow some shares. Shares are cool because you don't have to pay interest on shares. Shares were just sitting in someone's drawer. So if you borrow 100 million rands worth of shares, you can go to the stockbroker and you can go and sell them, even though they're not yours. Obviously, you have to give them back at some stage, and you'll have to buy them back, or you can give them back. But here we have 100 rand, 100 million rand, whatever you want. But the cool thing is, having sold them, you are going to get some things called longs. Okay, so while we're here at shorts, I'm going to just label those as my shorts. And with the proceeds from selling the shorts, I'm going to have 100 million rand. I'm going to label that as longs. That's pretty cool. So I can immediately go down here and I can call this my profit. And my profit is going to be equal to my longs plus my shorts. Oh dear, no profit. Okay. Don't worry about that. Let's go and assume that we've got we're going to make 20% return on our longs in the year. So that's these longs are going to turn into times brackets 1 plus my 20%. Went up to 120. And let's say the shorts, let's say we have a negative 10% here. My shorts are going to be times bracket 1 plus, and that'll be minus 90. Let's see what happens here with my profits. I am going to say equals those plus those, and wow, I've got some profits. That's pretty cool. What can you do with profits? Our investors now, investors? We don't have investors. Anyway, we've made a profit. Without investors, without any investment, I don't know how this works, but we've got a profit. That's fantastic. So what we would like to do is to go and set up some fees. Can we go and set up some fees? I like fees. Fees are what we want. That's why we're in business here. And I'm going to go across to find a nice place to do this. My fee setup is going to look here, and I'm going to have a thing here. I'm going to call it the annual fee percent. And typically hedge funds like to charge 2%. 2%, but they also like to charge a performance fee percent, a performance fee percent, and that is typically 20%. It's known in the business as 2 and 20. So let's just give those some names. Annual fee percent. This one's going to be performance fee. That's great, because now maybe I can go and calculate a performance fee. Okay, this under my fees should be my performance fee times my profit. How am I doing? Hey, look at these fees. I got a fee of 6. That's pretty good. 6 million, 6 whatever it is. And I haven't got investors, and I haven't got any investment. All I did was borrow some shares. Didn't even borrow money. And here I've got 6 million rand. Wow, maybe I should have borrowed some more. There is a problem though. You can't, when you borrow things, you need collateral. So in order to cholesterol, we're going to need to go and get some investors. So I'm going to go up here on row 4, and I'm going to get some money. Some money from investors. I'm just going to arbitrarily call that 100, and I'm going to make it, let's call that cash. Okay, and we might even get, what's the interest rate at the moment? I'm going to just say it's 6%. And so my cash after the year is finished is going to be equal to my cash times bracket 1 plus the 6%. That's 1.6. Hey, now that I've got cash, you know what I can do? I can go and get that 2%. Wow, I like this a lot. And I can apply it to my cash. So this is brilliant. I'm liking this a lot. I've got 6 here, and that's working out. So my investors actually they got a profit, but they also got a what did I call this? Did I call this anything? I'm going to call this thing. I'm going to call this my new cash. My new cash. So my investors not only made a profit from the longs and shorts, okay, but they also made a profit from the cash, and it's going to be the new cash minus the old cash. So wow, my investors, I suppose I have got investors now. My investors who put in 100 million have now got a return of 30 plus 6. Don't you like that a lot? Alt HBO, and we can go and put a total here. Here we go, 36. Is that all it is? Is that a hedge fund? So what I'm going to show you is that, wow, instead of just going, you know, this business here didn't need any money, did it? We took the investors' money, the investment, and we stuck it in the bank and got 6% return. We did not actually invest it. We stuck it in there, and it was put in escrow as collateral, just in case anything went wrong with our longs and our shorts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a variable called n here, and I'm going to make it equal to 1 just to start with, and I'm going to call it n. But I want to relate our longs. I want to say that our longs are going to be equal to n times the cash. That's going to work. And my shorts are going to be equal to minus n times the cash. There we go. But the cool thing is that now we can make this a 2 or a 3. Does the cash change? The cash didn't. But our exposure, our total exposure when n is 3 is to have 300 long, 300 short. That's a gross exposure of 600, whilst only having cash in the bank of 100. So just keep an eye on the profits here and on our fees. This is really useful. But as we change that 3 to a 4, do the profits go up? On a 5, profits up, fees up. Do we need new investors? No, it just is fantastic. But this is where I have to introduce you to the thing called the cover ratio. You see, these assets are not, their value is not as good as what they are, what's required for collateral. Their collateral value is actually a little bit less, so they have to take haircuts. So I'm going to calculate a formula here where it's a little solvency ratio, and it doesn't like that. We're going to say we're going to take our longs, and we're going to give them a haircut because longs are assets. But we're going to divide them by 15%, and we've also got assets, which is the cash. And I'm going to, because it's cash, it only needs a much smaller haircut of 5%. So those are our assets, and not their actual value, but their value as per collateral. And because we are calculating a solvency ratio, at the bottom here, we need to have not assets at the top, but liabilities at the bottom. And those are going to be minus the shorts. How are we doing? So when n is just 1, our cover ratio is 1.82. But as it goes 2 and 3, and how do we know when we're insolvent? When our cover ratio goes below 1. So instead of, well, if you go 7 here, let me show you. 7, you're pretty close. If you go 8, you're underwater. So the tightest you're going to go is about 7. Okay, no hedge fund wants to do that. This is typically at most going to be around about 2 for equity hedge funds at the most, something like 2. But that's fine. We've taken 100 million of the investors' money. We've raised another 200 from shorts, and we've invested it in 200 longs. So our gross exposure is 400, while we've got cash in the bank of 100. How's our profit doing? Our profit is doing, this is our total profit here. And our total profit is going to be equals, that's from the cash, and that's from there. So we're looking at a total profit of 14. This is not profit, this is fees for us. 14 million rand. This is a lot better than your normal unit trust. So this is the basic skeleton, the outline of how a hedge fund wants to work. It doesn't want to invest the investor's money in anything other than cash. It wants to go long and short, but it wants the longs to be financed by the shorts. It wants to have a gearing where we can keep the cash the same but have longer and shorter, and that gearing will give us more and more profits. It won't change the return on cash, but it'll give us higher fees as well. All of this, guys, is predicated on the assumption that your longs go up more than your shorts go up. Okay, if it doesn't, everything goes wrong. So you have to be smart enough to be able to choose shares that are going to go up more than the short portfolio, which typically you want to go down. But even if this was plus 10%, if I made our shorts go up as well, as long as the longs go up more than the shorts, we're still making profit, and we still are charging fees. And we've got a cover ratio, we're still solvent in terms of our escrow and our secured assets. That must be still above 1. Right, that's the end of hedge fund basics. But we now have to have another video, another session on how are we going to find longs that go up more than shorts. And for that, we're going to dive into the world of styles, style portfolio, how to get alpha from style. So without much further ado, let's finish this and get on with styles.